up, blokes? Francis here with Static Era.
Hey Francis, how's it going?
Good, man, good.
Good to be here.
Can we just get a quick intro? Who are you guys and what is Static Era?
Okay, well, we're half of Static Era.
Yeah. I mean, personally, my name's Chris, I'm the guitarist.
I'm Emma G, I'm the vocalist.
Yeah.
We've been together for almost 5 years. Really? Yeah. 4.5.
It's 2010.
Yeah. So, almost 5 years.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds really long. Longest relationship I've been in.
That's high school. That's as long as high school, put it that way.
Oh
We're just about to graduate and go to uni.
Next level. So we're a hard rock band from here, and we make music and stuff.
Yeah. You write lyrics and make melodies.
I do.
It's great.
You make really epic guitar riffs.
Yeah.
And also, epic melodies and harmonies and stuff.
Sweet. So, how did Static Era form? Like you said, it started about 5 years ago.
Oh, that's a controversial question.
This is a great question, okay? Because
version 1.
Yeah. I like to tell the story that Emma tricked some of the founding members to start this band together.
The highlighting word of that sentence was tell the story.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry. So we'll give you a couple of versions. My version is this, is that Emma had recently moved from Hamilton to Auckland. You know, she was taking her music career seriously. She wanted to find like-minded musicians. She basically, cut a long story short, was talking to me and talking to Dave Rhodes, who used to be in Stylus. Yeah. And she said to Dave, oh, Chris is going to join my band. Do you want to join the band? And then she said to me, oh, Dave's going to join the band. Do you want to join the band? And so we kind of went, well, because we know each, it's like, sure, why not? This will be fun.
Yeah.
Lies.
Yeah. So anyway, that's one story.
Yeah.
The actual story, I did move to Auckland from Hamilton to do music.
Yeah.
Originally, I had started off with this idea of doing a solo project, so I was doing a lot of the open mic nights and things like that. Dave and I were online Facebook friends, and he asked me if I was keen to.
Well, don't forget we were Bebo friends.
We totally were. Oh my gosh!
Remember that? This is like pre-Facebook.
Oh my goodness. So, Bebo. Oh my gosh. Yes. So, but Dave asked me if I was keen to get a band started, and I said, yeah, that'd be cool. And Chris had walked into one of the open mic nights I was playing at, and I asked him if he knew anybody who would be keen to be my guitarist, not even dreaming that he'd be keen. And but yeah, he got back to me on Facebook, not Bebo.
Well, we progressed quite a bit.
We did, yeah.
Come along.
And so that he would be keen, and then we started looking for a bassist, and so it sort of went on from there. But I don't know, I'm not nearly as manipulative as the original story makes me out to be.
It's much cooler. It's a much cooler story.
Makes me out to be some sort of Medusa or something.
Twisting the minds.
So there you go. You can edit that how you see fit.
Yeah.
Sweet. That's really cool. How did you guys actually get into music? Like initially?
Originally?
Yeah.
Oh, you go first.
Okay. So I was. Oh, okay. I grew up in Raglan, and my mother was always like, I don't know if you know much about Raglan musicians, but everybody's a musician there. Yeah. So I grew up with the likes of Ronnie Taylor, Midge Marston, Richie Pickett, making music around me, and I decided at the age of 5 that I wanted to be a singer and a musician. Started writing music. A big part of that was because I've got health problems. Yeah. So I've had 10 brain surgeries, and it's all very exciting. And music was the way that I could help myself deal with, all that shit. So, so that's why I started writing music and singing and things. Recorded my first song when I was 10, which was a hip hop track of all things. But that progressed obviously when I came across Pink Floyd and Metallica and Iron Maiden and all the actual good music. So so just kept writing. Got into the Play It Strange first album competition thing. And yeah, just kept plugging away until I moved to Auckland, and here we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Since 5.
Since 5, yeah. Well, honestly, my first ever song, not even kidding, it was called "School Is Cool."
That's appropriate.
Education.
Well, compared to Emma, I was a late bloomer at about like 12, I think it was.
Yeah.
I was a skater kid.
Yeah.
And what happened was I went around to a skater mate's place one time, and he had a guitar in his room, and he started playing guitar, and it blew my mind.
Yeah.
I went straight home and said, "Mum, Dad, I want a guitar for Christmas."
Yeah.
So that's how I kind of got into playing guitar, and then I was in various, bands throughout high school, and it grew from there. But it all started off at that one point by being inspired by my skater mate.
Who was the skater mate?
He's an unknown. It's Maxi High.
Oh, right, okay.
Well, at the time it was intermediate, so 12. But yeah.
Do they realise that was such an inspiration, and you're, such that?
Possibly.
Have you told them?
Possibly.
It's 'cause
If you wanna know me, ask me. If you wanna see me, tell me. I've never been a quiet girl. Baby, I can rock your world. If you wanna love me, get to know me.
So, what is the writing process like for you guys? Like, do you come up with a melody first, or do you start off with a guitar riff, or is it a bit of both?
it changes. I've written over 400 songs. Obviously not all of them rock songs, but and I don't know, we have quite an organic process, I guess. For me, I write a lot of, I just, going for a run or whatever, I just start humming a melody or something. Somebody will tell me a story, and if there, something, I don't know, that went on in the day, and it kind of sort of inspires me to start writing a song. Otherwise, Chris is a doodler on his guitar a lot.
A doodler.
Yeah, you're a dude.
Chris the doodler, the dude that doodles.
But no.
Yeah. No, I exactly what Emma says. There's no real one set way. When we first started, it was really all about taking Emma's songs that she had and just converting what were originally kind of like acoustic songs, just singer-songwriter type songs, and putting more of a rock band kind of slant to them. Then as the band kind of progressed, we've started collaborating in our songwriting a lot more. And there hasn't been any one particular way. I mean, sometimes Emma literally comes into the practice room with a vocal idea, and so then my task is, okay, how can I find what I think is the coolest sounding kind of chord progression or riffs to fit in behind that. Other times it will literally start out as a riff or some chords, and that gives Emma something to bounce off. Most of the time she'll write the lyrics. Every now and then if she wants help, then I'll contribute in that sense as well. But yeah, there's no real one particular way.
It's quite cool though, because one mind can be can create one thing, but with two minds you've got the ability to bounce ideas off of each other. That's how we wrote Far Away. It was a really back and forth exchange of lyrics, and I think that's one of the reasons why I love that song so much, is because I could not have been able to come up with half of it.
Well, I mean,
Chris wasn't there,
and I guess it helps because we're both actually songwriters in our own right. I mean, in my previous bands, I wrote all of everything, like music and lyrics as well. So it's quite interesting to what we do here is bounce ideas off each other, because they often can come from two different points of view.
And for starters, I'm female, he's male. You may have picked up on that. So,
Is that dynamic as well?
So, actually, being able to kind of,
Yeah, Emma, enough relationship songs. Do something cooler.
That's awkward. No, but valid point though. I mean, like a lot of our songs are now about sort of, empowerment and things that we're both really passionate about. I'm a youth worker as well as a teacher, and so a music teacher, obviously, we're the cool teachers. But being able to write stuff that's not about relationships and blah blah love crap. So
well, it's not crap, but
it can be.
You can grow. You can write about multiple topics rather than just.
There is a lot of it out there as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Sweet.
Yeah.
No, that's really cool. Like having that's the aspect of a band mostly, is like being able to collaborate. I think rather than just being like a solo or anything like that.
One of the biggest things that I've really loved about the Static Era thing is that it's become sort of like this family, like we hang out together, we write music together, we are passionate about the same things, and we're able to push each other and challenge each other, and it's been a really cool journey.
Yeah, that's awesome. Especially over 5 years, you've developed a pretty strong relationship.
Oh, you know, we're okay.
I hope so.
Do you guys have any pre-show rituals or specific warm-ups that get you in the zone for a show?
I may just do some vocal warm-ups, you know, from time to time.
Yeah.
I don't have anything like carrying a rabbit's foot and kiss it before I go on stage or anything like that. So no, not quite that ritual.
Yeah.
You have a rabbit's foot.
I do. That I kiss off. No, that's weird. Okay. No, I obviously have a lot of vocal warm-ups as well. I've actually I have to remove myself though from the bar and do, or from the venue and do the vocal warm-ups away from people. However, I did that recently at a bar on K Road and went downstairs and did some vocal warm-ups, and actually had a dude approach me thinking that I was not a singer, shall we say. It was very Moulin Rouge. But no, so a lot of vocal warm-ups. I'm also really big on strengthening my core, because obviously your diaphragm and things. So I often do planks, if you know what those are, and that's a little bit kind of strange probably, but a lot of just sort of hyping yourself up and sort of getting yourself ready in the zone.
So you guys put on a super high energy stage show.
We have been told this. Yes, apparently I'm a photographer's nightmare.
Really? Moving too fast.
Not apologising.
Is really making a performance a show something that you guys hold in really high regard?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, I've seen more than my fair share of artists and musicians where they're on stage and they look bored, you know, and how can you get the audience excited if you're not excited yourself? Yeah. So, I mean, I've always believed that you need to have some kind of high energy performance. Doesn't have to be choreographed and completely synchronized, but as long as that energy and attitude's there, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we don't choreograph anything that we do.
Just go for it.
Except our Running Man moves, though.
And occasionally the sprinkler. Yeah. No, but
I'm looking forward to that one.
I think that's keeping it fresh, keeping it new and whatever. I mean, often I'll approach Chris and we'll just start doing crazy stuff because that's what we do. But I mean, in saying that, obviously not all great musicians are high energy, and there'll be times when we like to bring it down and things. But if like Chris said, if you're not psyched, why would the audience be psyched?
Yeah.
And we love what we do, so why would we try and be like,
so you go up there and show it?
Exactly.
So how does Static Era compare to the other things you guys have done or are doing musically? Because there's a ton of experience in the band.
Yeah.
How does it compare to other things? Well, for me personally, I've always been an originals musician. Yeah. Okay. So the thing that I love is just the process of creating music and then being able to perform that live and record it and to be able to show that original creativity to people.
Yeah.
That's why I do music. Emma is, and she can speak more from this, but she's also involved in the covers circuit and doing a lot of performing in that. And so that'll be really interesting. Just how do you compare the two of those, doing both covers and originals? Because I've never done covers. I've always just focused on originals.
Yeah.
So
covers. I originally started doing covers just because it was something to do that was musical and still allowed me to meet people and be a performer. Yeah. And it's fun, but Static Era is my lifeblood. You know what I mean? It's that creative juice that kind of spurs you on. I mean, there's only so many times you can really go and perform Hotel California to, you know, drunken buffoons. But no. They're lovely buffoons.
But it's interesting because, I mean, there's not to say that one is better than the other. It's just there's different reasons for doing it.
Totally.
And unfortunately, down the originals road, even though it may be creatively more interesting, you can't earn the same amount of consistent income from being a musician doing that as compared to, say, covers work.
Yeah.
So...
And I have a really, like, for me, I am one of those people that I will not go and do covers that are like the originals, you know. I start, you know, I make my own, make my own. So
yeah, you do a good Eminem.
I do a good, not gonna lie, secretly a rapper. No, not at all. But yeah, so being able to sort of put that spin on it, and I think a big part of that is it comes from that creative buzz of being able to, you know, that I've learned from Static Era and that I've gained from Static Era is to take something and create something completely different from it. And that's, I guess, so even my covers, I kind of put that original spin on it, and I wouldn't be able to do that, I think, unless I had the influence of Chris and the guys, and, you know.
Yeah, so you kind of got that from the band, because there's been a couple of times that we've learned a cover song, you know, because it's for a special occasion or something like that. We don't do it normally. But even then, we've always tried to make it our version rather than just we're just playing generic, a faithful replica of it. So that to me, that's where if you can take a song but still kind of put your twist on it, make it your own, then you're still putting a creative element into it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
No, sweet. That's awesome.
Cool. Thank you. We try.
So, Emma.
Yes.
You've recently auditioned for X Factor.
Yes.
I know you can't really say anything about it.
Yes.
But what was the experience like?
It was intense. Yeah. It was cool. I mean, that's the reason why I auditioned in the first place was because, because I've been hounded by people for years to do something, and I've always been like, nah, whatever. But I thought, well, you know, why not? Kind of, you know, it'd be an experience, and it was awesome to sort of meet and be around this creative buzz of other musicians, and you know, experiencing what it was like to be in a sardine can room of nervousness. And
could you really feel it?
You could, and the different personalities were beautiful, and being able to, you know, everyone's kind of like checking each other. That's one of the things that kind of bugs me about musicians, but like the music industry, and it's very competitive, you know, but as you sort of progressed, you kind of, you start to feel this camaraderie, and, you know,
you're all in it for the same sort of reason.
Kind of.
So competing against each other as well.
Exactly, and I'm not really in it for the competition side of things. I'm just in it for the experience. But it was cool. Like Chris came along, and my mom and stepdad and stepbrother, and
So Emma could have like a support crew, and when it was Emma's turn to actually go out on stage, like as her support crew, we were side of stage, so we could see everything that was going on. And as Emma said, it was intense. You know, I mean, we all believe Emma's got the goods. But yeah, just going through that whole thing, and just the way that the judges were kind of deliberating and taking their time, was like, oh, jeez.
You could feel the drama and stuff.
I'm interested to see as well, like, what it will look like on television as opposed to, I mean, goodness knows, who knows if my audition actually makes it onto television, but, you know, it'll be interesting to see what the reality was in comparison to
the story that they portray.
Because, you know.
Well, it is about entertainment.
Well, which is unfortunate because I'm really boring, so. We'll see.
Got brain surgeries and stuff
well. Details.
That's cool. Like, had you considered like the NZ Idol and stuff in the past or anything like that, or is that sort of?
No, not so much Idol, because I know a few of the people who have gone through that process and been relatively successful through it as well, which was it's been, you know, it's been really cool to be part of, you know, to know that part of the journey as well. NZ Idol I find quite bizarre because the term idol is a bit strange to me. Yeah. But at least with X Factor, I think it kind of, you know, it puts more emphasis on the music as opposed to
the person.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. Sort of.
Sort of.
I mean, personally, I've never been a fan of music competitions. Yeah. I'm just not into them at all. And when Emma, brought up the idea, I was kind of like, oh, really? Really? But on the flip side, it was like, well, actually, if nothing else, it'll be a really good experience in the journey that you go through.
And that's exactly it.
Depending on what happens, it'll be a good experience. Plus, if it gives a chance for more of New Zealand to discover Emma as a singer, then that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I can punch them in the feelings with Static Era stuff.
Relationship songs.
Yeah, totally. Because I'm sure the world needs more of that. Yeah.
So you guys released 2 EPs so far. Mm-hmm. Have you got plans for a full length, or do you think EPs are the sort of the way you guys are going?
We're working on that at the moment, actually.
Sweet.
It's a really interesting predicament to be in as an independent band, because obviously EPs are a lot quicker to turn around and to release. There is a lot more investment and time needed to make an album work. I mean, we're kind of going through this right now. How can we pull that together and get the additional tracks needed and get the the cash needed to do the recording and everything else? But that's definitely our goal. We're kind of at that point now where we've done 2 EPs. The album is still the kind of landmark of credibility for a band, if you keep releasing EP ongoing and never have that full LP, it's, I don't know, it's just a perception thing. Yeah. So that is definitely our goal.
Yeah, me. Any idea of, so it's still in early days, so you don't quite have an idea of when you'd like to get it out? Obviously soon.
No, well, we're kind of aiming at
mid next year.
Yeah, mid 2015.
Yeah. That's the goal anyway.
Yeah, that's sooner than I sort of expected. That's good.
Oh, really? We don't like to mess around.
Yeah. Well, it's upping the ante. Like I said, there's a few things we need to work through.
Yeah. With everything else going on in your lives, what does Static Era mean to you guys, and how does it sort of fit in?
Oh.
That's when you say mean to us, what do you mean by mean to us? Like in terms of
like
ethos?
Yeah, sort of. What do I mean? Like how it fits amongst everything else, and how you think of it. Like,
right. Okay.
Do you want me to go first, or do you want to go first?
You can go first.
For me, I think what Static Era means is it's about challenging your beliefs. It's about not settling. It's about just going for whatever it is that you want to go for. Yeah. As Emma was saying earlier, I mean, one of the things that we kind of have really started doing in the band is about that self-belief element. I mean, I don't want to get all kind of new agey here, but it's about just looking at the positives in things. It's very easy to look at the negatives, and I mean constantly, we have day jobs, I have a day job, and it's very easy to have these really negative discussions with people, and it doesn't help anyone, I think. So we made a conscious decision that we wanted to just do stuff that hopefully made people think, look at the positives, look at, okay, there are things that you can do. The last EP, Dare to Fail, the bigger quote is, those who dare to fail achieve greatly. And what it was basically saying is, take risks. You're not going to know what's beyond the 4 squares of reality, or what you know, if you don't take that risk and give it a go. Yeah. So yeah, it's about going beyond those 4 walls of what you think you know. And even for me personally, you know, I'm naturally almost a reserved kind of person. So to take risks are always, you know, that extra kind of challenge that I push myself to do. It's never easy, and sometimes it's really scary. But that's just a kind of, for me, a belief that I believe in, and, you know, I think we've brought that to the band, and Emma's on the same wavelength. Yeah. So anyway, that's kind of what Static Era means to me.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, it's Static Era is about, for me, it's about rebelling against the norm and pushing back against judgments and whatever society puts on you. There's, like Chris said about the whole dare to fail thing, there's also another saying which I really like, which is, you know, this is your comfort zone, this is where the awesome shit happens. So, you know, it's about that. It's about being able to say, well, okay, this is what society expects from me. This is what we're told we should be doing, you know, get a job, work 9 to 5, come home, cook dinner, watch TV, go to bed, wake up, repeat. Whereas for me, it's more a case of, well, I am alive. That's exciting. Why don't we do something that's epic, that can hopefully, you know, challenge people, challenge ourselves.
And I just want to touch on something. Like, when you said I'm alive, you know, most people kind of go, oh, you know, whatever. But in Emma's case, because of your background and the health issues that you've managed to battle through, it's actually, you have a whole new appreciation and perspective on things.
Yeah, I mean, one of my best friends passed away when he was 20 from diabetes complications. You know, like, you know, I've had 24 surgeries in my life, 10 brain surgeries. I've had friends commit suicide. You know, most people have had, you know, brushes with that sort of side of life, and that's exactly it, being able to sort of be like, well, we have what we have, why not make the most of it? I like stuff being that person who wakes up at 9 o'clock, goes to work, gets, you know, is you know, miserable with their life. Why don't we achieve, you know, or strive to achieve something with ourselves, whether it's going for a skydive because you're scared of heights, whether it's you know, just being able to have the confidence to go up to a stranger and say, hey, you look really pretty today, or, you know, something like that. You know, you don't know.
In Auckland City, you get that, what the hell do you want?
You know what though? I found that when I first moved here, it was like, so, you know, I've got stuff to do, don't talk to me, but I'm that person that makes sure, hi, how are you? I like your shoes. But, you know, and people, you know, as much as we like to get stuck in our own zone, I think we need more smiles and more love and more respect and more just pushing against the grain and being that person that dares to fail.
And I think the other thing as well, the simplest yet also hardest thing for anyone to do is just to not take things for granted. You know, it's really easy to do. I mean, look, I know I get into these ruts, and sometimes you just have to kind of snap yourself out of it and go, actually, you know, despite what's going on, things aren't that bad. Actually, I've got a lot to be thankful for, grateful. You know, I mean, the ideal thing, I'd love to be like here rather than here, but I'm here rather than down here.
Exactly. And I think, you know, adding back into that whole what does Static Era mean to you, being around the guys is that helps me to not take things for granted, you know. But Chris is continually reminding me of how blessed I am and how blessed we are.
I need to remind you.
You do though, like, you know, if I'm having a funky day, you're just like, Emma, guess what? You're going, I don't know, you've got a bodybuilding competition coming up or something like that, you know, like,
reminding you.
You know, just, I was like, you know what?
I mean, Emma's overcome, she's very modest about it, but she's overcome a lot of personal challenges and achieved a lot of personal goals. Which is inspiring in itself, you know, to be in a band, you know, not only with someone that's musically very talented, but has that personal ambition and drive as well. So,
sweet. That's really good. Finally, just quickly, one last one for us. What do you think defines an NZ bloke?
Ooh. Chris. No.
Yes, I am the bloke.
I don't know. See, in a lot of ways, I'm an NZ bloke. I almost became a mechanic. True story. I studied automotive for 2.5 years, and I listened to Pantera, and I
yes,
I don't know, what is an NZ bloke? Somebody who has testicles. Yeah. I think that's pretty much it. Like, somebody who is able, willing to define themselves as a dude. That's for me. That's kind of what an NZ bloke is. Yeah. I don't know. That's a weird question.
I'd go. It's probably an attitude. It's definitely an attitude. Yeah. You know how to have fun. You can take the piss out of your mates, but you're not going to absolutely offend them to the point that they just want to cry. I mean, there's that natural kind of heckling to it, but there's that fun to it. You're not a pansy either. Yeah. You're not all metro.
No. Yeah.
Very good.
I don't wear pink, and I don't expect my men to wear pink.
Salmon.
Salmon. Yeah. I think you're right though. It's down to an attitude. It's down to a,
Yeah.
I think it kind of ties back to what we were sort of saying before. Is just get out there, have fun, make the most of life. Don't be a wallflower. Don't just hide in the corner and just wither away. Just get out there and experience life, whatever that may be. Whether that's driving tanks, whether that's racing cars, whatever is your thing that gets you excited, then that's an NZ bloke attitude.
Nice.
Definitely.
Well, sweet guys. Thanks for coming on.
Cheers, bro.
And thanks to Ding Dong Lounge for letting us have it here.
Holla.
And we'll see you guys later.